Well, another video that I want you to see of a shirt the grandkids gave me. It says the grandpas are just antique little boys. Now, I suppose there's an awful lot of truth to that. Don't mind it at all. Well, for you youngsters out there, I suppose I could be anybody from 70 down. I want to tell you a little bit about the onset of computers. When I went out to Jefferson County there in 1961, never dreamed of owning a computer, certainly never using a computer had entered my mind either. But got out there in Jefferson County and you started hearing a little bit about computers. First thing you know, Jeffco, the county, has hired a computer wizard, I guess. And I don't know exactly what he did or didn't do, but I do know that whatever he did apparently didn't please the brass just right, or maybe he got frustrated. All I know is he stayed a year or two and was gone. And as far as I remember, nothing he did really affected us at the school level. Probably at that point, the district was more interested in help with keeping track of supplies, paychecks, bookkeeping in general, rather than anything that would affect instruction. Well, at that time, there was a lot of thought, a lot of encouragement that all kids don't learn the same, so you have to find ways to individualize instruction. Kind of a sharp departure from Mr. George W. Bush's No Child Left Behind, where he seems to think you just put pressure on them. They'll learn whatever you want them to learn. Well, we had one teacher, Mr. Wood, science teacher, that he did a really good job of individualizing instruction. My goodness, you'd go into his science rooms, and when he was doing lab work, holy cow, 100 different things it seemed like going on. Some of the other teachers said, well, yeah, he's not married, doesn't have any kids, must put in a lot of time to be doing that. So I asked Woody about it, and he said, well, yeah, he said some weeks I put in 80 or 90 hours. That's too much. Didn't work. Well, anyway, first thing you know, this new guru they hired has us putting our attendance and our grades on little cards and send them down to the county, and he'd put them on the computer and send back the grade sheets and the attendance records. Some of the teachers, I guess, just couldn't get it into their head how to do it, or maybe they didn't want to do it. Both Mr. Frost and later Mr. Finch felt like Mildred Olson might just deliberately goof it up because she didn't approve of the whole thing. Mildred's a great lady and a great teacher. I teased her a little about it in later years, and she didn't make any comments as to just how it all happened. Well, time goes by, and I always made the schedule, and I don't remember just whose system it was, don't even remember how it worked, but I had some sort of a table, and I put these cards in, they had holes in them, and you put these wires through to make schedules. Worked pretty good. But that last year that I was at Evergreen Junior, Lou Finch, assistant superintendent, later Sheridan is the assistant principal, and he's working on the schedule. Well, it gets time to take it down to the IBM building in Denver. It was after dark, I think maybe like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. We got our turn. And I'm going to work on that a little bit the weekend before we go down. I want to be sure it's going to work, you know. And Lou was a little insulted. He said, hey. I said, okay. So we go down there, the two of us, take the cards down, have to knock on the door, big IBM building, I don't know how many stories high, a huge building, and I don't know, guard or somebody let us in, and then he took us around the corner into a big old room, and I guess the one tech, I don't remember more than one guy being there, other than the fellow let us in, and there were refrigerator-sized, big as this door here, bigger. Big refrigerators lining. This room is at least 30 by 30, maybe 35 by 35, and 3 sides lined by huge refrigerator-sized machines, all the same size, going around and around and around. You got over to the far side, in the middle it came out to a big printing arrangement in the middle of the room. Well, he took our cards, put them in over here right next to the door, and that first big refrigerator thing started going click, 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 click. Pretty soon the next one goes click, click, click. First one still clickety click. Pretty soon they're all gone clickety 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 click. I don't know, 45 minutes or so, these first ones begin to shut down. They've done their thing. And about an hour after they started, they came over to the printing machine and man, we never saw anything quite like that. That printer would go backwards and forwards and printed those schedule cards out. And I don't know, 5, 6, 7 minutes it quit. We go there and look down and it had a message on top. At this point, there's so many conflicts in the schedule that it's pointless to continue. As a consequence, soon-to-be assistant superintendent at Sheridan had to stay an extra week and redo the cards so that there wouldn't be as many schedules. I don't know how he did it, but he was only a week late. Can you imagine that? You got 100, 1,000 times more power in that little thing sitting over there on the desk. It's going to transmit this to the internet after a while than in all that room full, but that was the computer, 1967. Well, we've been moving on, haven't we? It's a strange world. On this election thing, I just saw a real hologram, not in the movie, but on the screen, they hologram somebody in and out of a crowd so that they can talk to them without all that mess and talk and background noise. Things are going about as far as they can go in Kansas City.